Okay, I'm going to do a review of the Everdrive 64. Now there's a lot to cover, so I'm going to do it in parts. One of the parts is going to be showing the forums of all the people that have had problems with it. So first of all, this is the first thing people are going to do. Well, some noobs. The first thing you got to do is when you put your SD card in there, it's going to have instructions where to get the OS and the files. And that's the PAL games. I'm just going to go through all the functions and what works and what doesn't. Try to get all this done quick. So you can back up your memory card, but that's just one of the things. There's so much to cover. We'll go through the options here. When you hit Z, come up with some options. I better change that back. I would keep that at default. Yeah, if you're gonna get started on Gameshark codes, that's another thing you gotta. That's off by default. You want to have that on. You want to have all these set to this. This is pretty useful. And I just overwrote. That just backed up my memory card. That's one other feature. This is one of the problems with the Gameshark implement. It sucks ass. First of all, you got to enter all this by manual, and you cannot have code breaks. Like, you can't enter infinite health. Say that's one line. You can't label them. So the next one's moon jump, and it's 2 lines. It would be these two. So when you're typing in something in, see, I want to go back. I hit B. You can't go. Wait. Oh, you can use. Okay, you got to use the C left or whatever. That wasn't working last time I checked. But anyway, that's on. You can set the time because that'll be there. I'm just going to do this self-test. The Everdrive runs about version 3 for the 64 runs about $175. So if you got money like that to fork over, then you should get it. But you'll need to know some things first. Now, I haven't uploaded the video yet of why you shouldn't use Gameshark with it. I'll probably do that later, tonight or tomorrow. But if you haven't watched the video, and this is up second, you should watch it. Basically, you put a Gameshark on the bottom, you put your Everdrive on top, your Gameshark is bricked. If it goes to that countdown. Okay, I don't need to do this. Number one, I'm just going to say this right now. You cannot save your SD card saves to the SD card. You cannot use memory card saves, I mean. And let's just get into some games. I got the whole library here. We're going right into it. Now I helped somebody out a while ago with some codes for one of these Turok games. Some of the codes weren't compatible with the Gameshark menu, so that's just one deal. Hopefully this is one I can get right into and don't have to wait a lot. Screw it. I'm not going through a whole intro. If you have version 2.5, I would toss that and get version 3.0 because you have to hold reset in order for your games to save, and half the time it doesn't work. One of my problems I had is I was playing Conker's Bad Fur Day, and I played like 3 hours, quit the game. It says it was saved. I turned it off. I came back like a week later. Everything was gone. So we're going to load up some Mario hacks. And actually I should save this for another video because most of them don't work. This is being one of them. They were programmed on an emulator. Don't work on real hardware. But luckily some people patch some of these. This says it works with Everdrive. It has ED at the end. So get right into it. Oh, this is one of the annoying hacks. I just fell off the edge. What? Okay, I'm going to go through that pipe. I don't remember how this one works. Let's read the sign first. Yeah, mini hack. Do I jump in the pipe? I just pretty much ignored that since this already looks stupid. And the loading is shit. This isn't my camera. The game is overloaded with crap. But I'm pretty impressed with the custom graphics that they added. This seems to be the most used when the game mods. Kind of overrated too. Because there's almost 100 of these, and there isn't hardly anything for any other games. Except Goldeneye, but there was still way less for Goldeneye and Perfect Dark than Mario 64. Alright. Now I'm going to get into a normal game. Go to the normal game list. We'll see if Perfect Dark, if I have a save on that yet. I haven't checked. I didn't hit that. Yeah, that's the other thing. You're going to need an actual memory card in order to do memory card saves. This game saved the cartridge and the memory card. So don't bother getting your hopes up for saving money on memory cards, because every card I have corrupts at one point. I guess I did save it. The only good thing about the saves on this device are your cartridge saves are good to go. They're saved forever. Just gonna make sure Mario Kart has a save. Oh, not Mario Kart. Super Mario 64. Yeah. It saves good. So that's one good thing about it. Now, I'm not sure what would happen if you ripped out that battery pack, the real-time clock, if your data on the actual SD card is good and if it'll still save. I'm guessing might be a problem there, so I guess it's backed up for life as long as your SD card is backed up on the computer. But if you want to play something like this that uses a memory card, you're going to have one. You will not be able to save memory card data and load it directly off the SD card. When I first, before I bought it, I was reading in a thread where, oh, somebody said you could. You can't. That's the bottom line. This is only possible through this. See? Oh, I will reset it and pull that out, and I won't be able to load it, just for proof. Expansion pack found. No controller found. Controller pack. If I haven't mentioned before, don't ever try to put a Gameshark on the bottom and turn it on. If you do that and the countdown goes down to 1 and then 0, it'll reflash your Gameshark. I cannot believe nobody made a thread about that, a topic, because I was hoping that you could run the actual ROM of the Gameshark as a pre-boot to whatever game you want and work it that way, but that does not work. I might even see if I even have, probably don't have the ROM, but I'll check. I do. And I'll show it doesn't boot at all. With this Wii emulator, you could program it so that you could load the Game Genie first, and that all the Game Genie codes worked on that. Here's what is good about it. I can play Japanese games in TSC. I don't know what it's asking me. That's probably a yes. I'll just say it right now, you cannot play PAL games on American console unless you have a really nice TV that'll go backwards. Most don't, though. This is what I do like, but I don't know Japanese, so but you can still play their games. And I'm pretty sure on PAL consoles you can't play American or Japanese, so don't get your hopes up with that. But I would buy the Ultra CIC chip that has a switch, so you make sure you got it both ways just in case. Now, there was a thread on the forums that somebody, I don't know what they did, they had a PAL console or something, turned it to American mode, and it fried their system, or it was vice versa. Because the power converter, it's all different. There's just 220 volts in PAL, but something happened with the Everdrive where it fried their console. Don't need to search for that. I've already pulled up a lot of them, and I'm going to look at them and probably show a few in the video later. So this is quit, yes. Now there's a few games like Banjo-Kazooie or Banjo-Tooie that didn't work at first, but they've been patched to work, so you should be set on that. Just hope that they yeah, Everdrive patch, so that should be working. Hope that they keep those files up there. What the hell? Okay, so they had to overwrite the intro, apparently. So you're not even playing the original game, but you could probably play on an emulator. Come on, load. They're infamous for having their loading screens take forever. You can't skip through it. I probably don't even have a save date on this. And I'm not gonna watch a boring intro. I was trying to make this as quick as possible, but there's so much to cover. Yeah, and I found this, they listed a folder that took you to a bunch of like ROMs and hacks and everything, and you just download the full thing. Oh, this is... I should keep this. Yeah, this is... I actually kind of like this, but the problem is there's no way to save it, and that reminds me I need to go to NES games. This Everdrive can also play Game Boy games. I really like how that looks like Ganon's castle. What is this? Yeah, this was one of my favorite Mario mods at the time, but then I later found out you can't save it, so it wasn't worth the crap. Cause you go into... I'm playing all this one-handed, by the way. You go into this pipe. It starts out easy. See, when you grab this fake star, there is no save. Oh, this is gonna be hard one-handed. Yeah, that's... Alright, I'm gonna set the camera down. And it just goes on to like this, and it keeps going on forever until you eventually can't beat it. And guess what? I'm bypassing that stupid wall. I thought doing this would get to the game, and the first time I tried it, it froze when I went through the door. But the second time, it let me do the other missions. And this time it freezes. Because it doesn't want you to play the real game. Alright, now I get to NES side. Wait, just a second. These are all, I think, the working only ones. There's like... No, I'm pretty sure this one doesn't work. Galaxy 2. Okay, no, I've probably done that. What the heck? Oh, is this that one? No, there's one of these where there's like flames and stuff and you can barely get into the castle without dying. I'm trying to go find one that is an epic fail. This looks like one that will fail. I think I deleted all the ones that failed out of because I was sick of them being there. That's another one that works. There's something about Wacky Worlds. I can't remember if it was good or not. I'm just gonna go through these right now. Oh, this was a good one. I think that one of these had a really cool side jump. Oh, it's this, yeah. That's when you try to do a long jump, it does that. I think that's kind of cool. I think the worlds are pretty much the same except for some texture hacks, but the 3D where objects are, I think, is all the same. Yeah. So you're just playing something with different colors. It looks cool, but It's no different from the original, except for that jump. I don't think that guy's... What the hell? It's like a Goomba. Behaves like a Goomba, but doesn't look like one. Whoa! There was another hack that had like 50 of these things right here. I don't remember. Chain chomps, yeah. And there's no way to get that star. All right, NES time. Done with Mario hacks. Okay. We'll play a really, really bad game right here. It works, but the game sucks. Back to the Future. The movie's awesome though. And now all three of the movies take place in the past. So now they're back to the past. Hard controlling it one-handed. Look, a hamburger. Okay, and that looks like a Koopa shell. So we know that works. We'll go to a game I know doesn't work. Action 52, and it's because it's 2 megabytes. My friend's telling me that he got the NES Everdrive, and you can't reset it either. He got the NES Everdrive, and it doesn't support games over 1 megabyte, so that means you could technically play more games on a real Nintendo than you can on this, and you could probably play it on an emulator too. Oh, need to show Legend of Zelda and PAL mode. Where the hell is it? GameCube edition. No, do I not? There's the original, I think. There's no way to save this. And there's no save states at all on any Everdrive. Well, on the 64. I don't know about the other versions, but I doubt they would add that in. So, emulators, you get the save states. A lot of emulators suck, though. They don't have compatibility. So I'm trying to remember what that... Okay. Debug info. Error trapping. DMC. I think DMCA. Arcanoid paddle, really? Why would I need that? And it doesn't even do anything. Okay, frame by frame stupid. It just pauses it onto that. Take screenshot. This doesn't work. It goes nowhere. Let's do PAL mode. Oh, slow-mo. Listen. And don't bother asking about Game Genie codes because there's probably no way to load them with this. Okay, listen to the music. Normal speed. PAL mode. Slow-mo. Alright. I'm going to put in an actual controller pack. See if that function even works. You just hit L and R to do this. Yeah, it's in. Your stuff isn't programmed right. Load new ROM. Oh, okay, all my data's gone. Well, that's obviously going to reset the data, but I let the enemies kill me and hit save and come right back, and it's not going to be saved. So that's an epic fail right there. My old Zelda game works better than this on an actual console. I'm going to see if this is even the original version. I'll be able to tell when I die. It's not. This crap at the bottom wasn't on the real original version, so this isn't Rev A, it's Rev B. And that holding reset button then is fake as shit. It does not do anything. Save. Oh, there's my file. So is it really saved? Reset the console. Come back. Load it up. Bye-bye, save. One other thing, when you hold reset, you can keep holding it there, and it does this weird stuff on the screen, like glitches out and crap. What was that? There's one. What was it? Dragon Warrior? Was that a game that didn't work? This is 512 kilobytes according to this. Okay, it does work. If it was 1 megabyte, it wouldn't work. And about that backing up your memory card. You got to take this file, put it on your computer, and back it up. But here's the thing, how do you put it back on the memory card? Because it only says copy to file. How would you, say you format your memory card and you have that file backed up, but you now want to put it back on the memory card because it's useless in SD card format since you can't even load from it? That's not even built in. You have to find a third-party app. Maybe Alt64 has it. That's a whole nother story. So here's the OS. Yeah, let's look in hex view. This is a neat feature. At least they put this in, but you can't edit anything. You wouldn't want to because you'd destroy it. Let's load an exe file. Oh, what else? You can view hex on pretty much any file, but that doesn't help. Here's a Game Boy emulator. I haven't put any ROM, so I don't know if it works. It looks like that doesn't even work. Look at that screen. Yeah, that looks pretty dead to me. Reset doesn't do anything either. Almost thought it was bricked. It was taking forever to load up. Let's load this. Okay. The app works, but I don't have a ROM to test it. And it's already showing an error anyway. So these are some of your folders you need to have. You don't need to have backup, but you need CPAC. I don't This stuff does nothing, pretty much. This is where all your save crap goes. The cartridge saves only, which is a neat feature. If you ever have a problem with one of your cartridges getting reset, there's no way to back up your original data though. Good luck with that. There might be a way, but it requires a lot of hacking and changing a lot of hex and going through a bunch of steps. So the average person won't want to, and people who do know how probably won't want to anyway because of all the time it takes. Goldeneye X. This is a perfect dark mod, I can tell already. And I really like this sound mod because they work pretty hard to do this. I gotta give them that. That's some good music right there. Kind of tacky at the end, but whatever. Let's see how the game works. Bond. Now, some of these aren't even functional missions. There's no way to pass them or fail them. But it's like they imported the levels. I bet the tank isn't here though. It is not. I'll go to that level I'm on. Where we go? This had actual objectives. Now this is like a direct copy of Goldeneye, except I can't skip all this. Loading is a little bit crappy, but other than that, it's working out all right. Executed? No, he's right there. At least the pause is better instead of looking at that stupid watch like the original was. What is this? 11 beat. This looks uninteresting already. Soccer, I'm not interested. Insert coins. None of the buttons are doing anything. Start, A, B, nothing. And I'm impatient because I've probably spent way too much time on this video already. You can play disk drive games. That is one good thing about it. Not many exist, but you can do it. And you can. These GameCube editions will work. I'll just get into that, show that they do. GameCube Ocarina of Time. Actually, I'm not gonna show this one because maybe I will, because I didn't want to go through that whole intro. I guess I have to go. I'm not doing it. I have to go through that intro. Oh, let's go to the demo scene. You can play demos. You can play whatever the hell this is, arcade stuff. Can't save your NES games. So overall, you could probably play all these ROMs on an emulator and still save your data. So, and that's free. So maybe that's the better road to go. I see that the better road would be to buy your games, buy what is good, don't buy what is crap, and then you don't have to look at all these files. And I'm skipping that. We'll go to a different SD card now, just to show that PAL will not be working. Because this, how big are these cards? 16 gigabyte, and it won't fit all the American library plus European plus Japanese. It won't fit them all with all the hacks and mods and stuff. So I had to separate. I had to have 2 SD cards. PAL, anything won't work, so we'll set that up. Now you'll hear sound, I think. You just won't see anything. It's the same thing on a CRTV, except you'll see something, but it'll be like flat lines going really fast across the screen like that. Reset. Now it screwed up the TV, sort of. Unpatched and untested, yeah. I think these are where the broken Mario games are, and they're not exclusive PAL. They just don't. They usually freeze when you hit start to save you. Yeah, right there. And almost all of them do. And someone made a thread on their support forum. And they're like, why are none of the Mario games working? I don't remember what the next person said, but someone should have said because the Everdrive sucks for that. Yeah, I went through this for a long time to see all of them didn't work, and there's a really cool mod out there called Mario 64 Multiplayer, and it works great, but it doesn't work with Everdrive, unfortunately. But it does work on the Wii version and the emulator version, so the only real home console one is the Wii version. I'm going to try to be brief about this. I'm on their support forum. Banjo-Tooie doesn't work. No region works. I'm going to close these out too because I got way too many tabs open. Screen flicker. And here's the owner. He doesn't even know what he means by screen flicker, and he has this dumb little face, like, I don't know. The screen flickers different colors, British spelling, when you try playing games. Original cards work fine. Any ideas? This is the guy who created, and he doesn't even know about this error. Okay, it's a problem with his TV, but Dead in 64. Possibly the Everdrive killed it. Yeah, shorted out. This is where he has an epic fail. Games will be stored on SD card. Game saves. The save, he's asking the save games will save on Nintendo memory cards or SD card. He's saying SD card, not true, and he's the owner. And then this guy's a hero. He says the truth. Games that use controller pack will still use the controller pack, spelled differently, for their saves. Games with use a battery will use the SD card, and he's more right than the owner. That's the other thing I forgot to mention. There's a little switch if you get the Ultra CIC. Looks to be that NTSC is on the left and PAL's on the right. Oh, and if you switch it to PAL on a US console on the TV, you'll just get a black screen and vice versa. Alright. You can look for these threads yourself. Just search on Google Everdrive forum. Now he's having a crashing issue. You have to get no intro ROMs for those to work, apparently. Game not designed to use on this system. Another problem someone's having. And it doesn't look like it ever got resolved. And it's months old. This person wants them to send it to Crits for repair. That's the other thing I forgot to mention. When you order this thing, get ready to wait a month, because that's about how long it'll take. It comes either from Cyprus or Ukraine, and it's gonna, at least to America, it'll take forever. And I heard someone in Western Europe, it took them like 2 months, and that's closer. They were like from Spain or something. Not working. Nothing is happening. Okay, he did fix it. So he was just making a new mistake. Now there's a corrosion issue. That doesn't sound good at all. So that's poor soldering on the creator's side. Rust on SD card. And this device is pretty new, so it's not like it's as old as the N64 or the games where this would be happening. Not that it even does on the actual games itself. Very rarely. Because those are built by more professionals. Every time I hit reset, there is a new... when there is new save data that crashes and loses all functionality. I have the same issue. Mine crashes whenever I reset after that. Another epic fail. Black screen of death. I'm so glad mine worked the first time, because I didn't want to go send it in for check or repair and then probably have to pay a repair fee to this guy. And it'll take probably a month to send out to him, and then he'll take probably a month to fix it, and then another month to send it back. What is the point? No confirmation. There's a lot of that in the shipping thread. That's just how it goes. That's not as big of an issue. But here's one, dead on arrival. DOA. This is a sort of a big thread. The problem, I highlighted threads that are mainly problems with functioning in the first place. There's so many for specific games and all kinds of crap like that. There's 52 pages just on the 64 Everdrive. Send it in for repair. Okay, so he's using it for 8 months. That's not that long of a time. I've only had mine for, oh, about 4 months. And I rarely use it. Controller pack not detected. And if I remember this thread right, it was working in, I'm not even reading, but it was working in his, for his normal games. Oh, I found an online MPK editor. I'm just drinking coffee like the Everdrive has no problems at all, and I'm going to pretend that nothing happened. So like, I can't do anything except upload or download files. It's working fine on my end, sure it is. I think I tried it and had the same problem. Saving or loading on the flies. That would be a cool feature, but nope, there aren't save states. Another thing that crappy emulators can perform, but this thing cannot. Saving issue. Yeah, that's a whole nother deal right there. Everdrive error. Code on boot. Check the battery. How about replace the battery? Another not saving issue. Console dead. Now the console won't start at all. Did the Everdrive overload your console? Yes, it did. It probably did destroy that right there. Oh, I'm so glad that didn't happen to me. Power supplies are getting to be hard to find, and when you do find them, you got to buy the whole console usually. File corrupted when using a different controller. These people have had very bad days. Everdrive suddenly died out of the blue. Send it in and pay a fee. And this one was interesting. It's not anything that doesn't work, but it's a Chinese clone. I wonder if they'd be any better. Live memory editing, you can kiss that goodbye. I hadn't even checked this, but it's probably not worth even reading, especially in this video. Everdrive, PAL Everdrive won't boot. Error 91. SD card timeout. I don't know why it happens. Send the cart to him, don't get it back. That's the other thing. If you bought it from like something like Stone Age Gamer, all their stuff, number one, is out of stock. It says it's back order, so that you're probably never going to get it. Number two, you're going to have to PM that guy for his address, and I guarantee you it's going to take like a month. Everdrive broken, and not only that, they deleted the guy's account. Say the hell with you. I'm not going to help you with anything. I'm deleting your account. Okay, there's a lot of details. I'm really impressed by all the details that original poster gave out. Okay, here's a game-specific thing. Oh wait, no, or any other game for that matter, so it doesn't work with fat system error. So, and that's a cartridge save, and those are supposed to work by default. Just received it and won't work. Fat error. Maybe other SD card would work, but shouldn't it work with all SD cards if it was a good device? This I didn't expect. I guess they did fix it, but they shouldn't have been able to. Error code, more error codes. Oh, this is. I wish I read this earlier before downloading though. Does it work on Everdrive? It doesn't. Mario multiplayer, you can kiss that goodbye. It's really a shame because if you want to go over to a friend's home, you're like, oh, let's bring the great Everdrive. We'll play Mario 64 multiplayer for the first time ever, and then you forget that it doesn't work on it. So just find the Wii version. Buy a Wii if you don't have it. Play that. If you want to play a multiplayer mod for Mario 64. Weird problem. More errors. And I didn't even go through all of them. This is just the ones, some of the major ones like Dead on Arrival. This is about making the Gameshark functionality better. And I need a review that you can't save your codes when you switch another game. That shit gets reset. Alright, so, but if you keep playing the same game and you put the codes on, it'll keep working. Now there's some method where you put in a text file and you put just the lines, you can't put the description. So therefore, if you're trying to, okay, like you want to put 90 codes on there, all the codes for that game, but you don't want to have them all on, you're going to have a hell of a hard time remembering which is which, unless you can memorize all those lines of code and what hex means what. So that is some bullshit. That is a bullshit problem. Everdrive stopped working. Everdrive not working. Repair your cart. He doesn't mention if he has a fine to do that or not. The guy already paid 175 or probably more. I think it's 183 with shipping. And those prices are just going to go up. All the prices on everything today are going up. But my wages are not. Controller pack not detected. More problems. More problems. There's more problems in this thread than when the Wii hacking scene was new and people were trying to figure out how to do that. No expansion pack found. Well, the Everdrive is probably what broke it if it was working before. Any news on Gameshark support? And this was 2013, a while ago, but the Everdrive had been out for a few years already. Will not register SD card. They deleted his account too. Won't power on with the Everdrive inserted. So yeah, it'll power up. That is some weird shit right there. He's lucky it didn't destroy his power supply or his whole console. More problems. Now this is a great thread. I haven't tested it. This has nothing to do with a problem, but it's how to convert VC to Everdrive, and it's a long ass process, and you probably got to download a bunch of stuff. Okay. More Everdrive not working. Probably an SD card issue. Everdrive won't take the SD card. This poor guy got no response about a biohazard problem. Saves deleted, so the Everdrive can delete saves. Or that guy doesn't know what he's talking about, but he probably does, and the Everdrive deleted his stuff. So he's saying that it's out of stock from Retrogate. And he doesn't understand, the owner doesn't understand what he means. I'm curious, is Stone Age Gamer out of stock for their own inventory, or are the units currently on back order altogether? He can't answer something like that. Well, an appropriate response would be, yes, they're back ordered. No, they're not back ordered. That is a big epic fail. That is the easiest question to answer. Unless you don't know, he could have just said, I don't know. Dumping controller pack. People wanting wallpapers. I wouldn't even bother with that. Oh. I'm finally back. 55 pages of Everdrive 64. Problems, mostly problems. I'm gonna try to find that person that waited like 2 months. Here's one. This isn't the same one I was looking for. 1 month and still processing in progress. How about you wait another 5 months and then come back and tell me if you got it. Alright, canceling order. Okay, we're going to go through why the Gameshark site is a fail. First of all, I'm just going to show that no codes will be loaded, and the only code I'm going to use is Moon Jump, because I'm not going to put in multiple codes. This game intro really sucks. It takes forever to get through. Okay. Come on. The battery might not even make it through all of this. Where's my game where I was at least an hour into? Oh, right here. And I beat all this crap, and that's when I was saying somewhere in the video it didn't save. I killed that stupid mouse, and I went through this Terminator guy and did some extra shit. Okay, I found Moon Jump. I entered it on the screen. One other thing, this has a 24 line limit, which the Gameshark you could have hundreds of lines of code. So we'll see. I put it in exactly the way it lists on the site. We'll see if it works. It should. But if not, I know a different site I can go to. on there right now off screen. Damn it, save 2. And it doesn't work. I'm holding L. So that site is bogus. There's probably the real... Oh, fuck, no. We'll see if the cheat's even saved. Look at that! What kind of bullshit is that? They're gone. So I'm going to use a game I know doesn't have any enable code and no key codes. I'll type that in there. This is for WCW NWO Revenge. CF. Max Spirit. Load it up. Like any person would. Probably won't work. And it does nothing. Spirit is at nothing. When I reset, the codes will probably be gone. As usual. Let's look for cheats. Oh, look at that. They're all reset. So we'll put in the same thing again. So imagine you just put in like 100 lines of code. You spent here. Well, you can only do 24 since this thing's a piece of crap. Alright, F9, D25, FF at the end. We'll try it a second time. Whoa! I don't want that. You cannot hack codes with this either. And look at that! Spirit is at nothing. Now, I think that there was a way for this to work, and I think you have to go enter the code and go back all the way back to the main menu and then hit start. There's no manual with this. Who would figure that out on the first try? Unless they spent hours on the forums asking questions, waiting for people to reply. Remember that thing I said? Gameshark on. Okay. This is the last way I remember I ever got it working in the first place. And when I first started this thing out, I kept hitting start to go to the next menu, and it just start a game. Now it could be that the site is junk. There, now it's working. So you have to go all the way back to the beginning of the menu. And I think you still have to do that, hit the button twice for it to work. Now when I reset, when I hit Gameshark, that will be there. I think. So we'll check. Yeah, now it saves. It doesn't make any sense because I'm not even at the game loading menu. So we'll load up something completely different. We'll reset it, see if then it'll still be trying to load Revenge's codes, which isn't going to work anyway. And they're already gone anyway. So it somehow knows that that's not that Revenge game. We'll load up that Revenge game again, and sure as shit, the Gameshark cheats won't be there, and my battery's about to die. So let's see if it remembered what the codes were. Nope. You got to enter all that every time you switch games. You go back. You go back to the beginning. So you want to play 100 lines of Goldeneye? Don't bother trying. You can't use any of the function the Gameshark Pro could. You can't have a parallel port on the back. You can't hack codes. Don't bother asking or trying, and nobody will help you. And that's one of the things I wanted to do. I wanted to play this and not worry about a Gameshark bricking. And don't count on it. So my review is coming to close. I've covered everything, why it's a fail and why it is good, but overall I don't think it's worth the money. Unless you're just a must-have for this collector item, if you call it a collector item. This video is probably going to take a long-ass time to process on the computer. I'll get it up in a few days.